Hey, everybody. Pastor Scott here over at Lone Oak Wesleyan. And as I've mentioned before, when I am preparing a sermon, I look at a lot of different pieces of scriptures to back up the piece of scripture that I'm using to back up. If I'm talking from a letter of Paul, I may try to pull from a letter of Peter or from the gospel or something to back up what we're saying. And so there's always something that we leave out, a piece of scripture due to time. Well, this week I was looking at two different pieces of scriptures in Hebrews, and I actually went with the one in chapter 10 because it it backed up what I was talking about and said it better than the one in chapter 4. But it was so close because both of them have the same thought behind them. Chapter 4 of Hebrews, verse 14 is I left out 14 through 16. It says, the writer says, "So then, since we have a great high priest who has entered heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to what we believe. This high priest of ours understands our weaknesses, for he faced all of the same testings we do, yet he did not sin. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God. There we will receive his mercy and we will find grace to help us when we need it." And so the crux of my message, for those of you who heard it, was is that we are to be able to come boldly to God, that we're able to have the enemy's already defeated. So we just need to come to God and ask him for his help. But we can come boldly. We can come with bold requests. And I'm not talking about worldly things. I'm talking about bold requests like spiritual breakthroughs in our lives, of defeating the enemy, as the enemy flanks around us and as the enemy is trying to bring us down and discourage us, that we can come to God and say, defeat the enemy and what they are trying to do in my life, and we can come boldly into his throne room. And the idea behind that also is the fact that our enemy has no access to God's throne room, but we do. Why? Because of what Christ did on the cross for us. So let us go boldly before God, and as we are encouraging our church members to pray this month specifically every day for God's boldness to shine through them and for breakthroughs in their lives. And we all have people that we're praying for that aren't saved, that God will begin to pull and pick apart the enemy and the strongholds he has in their lives. You guys have a good day. We'll talk later.